We're here at the South Carolina Equine Park in Kershaw County for the South Carolina Horsemen's Council Annual Expo.
That's right, Blair. Kershaw County has really done a great job updating the old Westfall Arena here right off I-20 in Camden, and we're looking forward to a great day. And we want to thank the South Carolina Horsemen's Council and Doug Holly-Davis for putting this show on for us.
That's right. We're really excited about today. There's going to be vendors, silent auctions. We'll be talking with clinicians and farriers. If you have never been to this event, please check it out next year. It's going to be a great day.
And Blair, the old Petey Cowboys is kind of like a kid in a candy shop coming up here. Y'all might have to run me down here today to find me amongst all these horses and vendors and stuff.
So stay tuned for more exciting horse tales. Joining me now is Kay Watkins from Hartsville, South Carolina, who is the Expo chairman. And Kay, how long have you been in the Horsemen's Council?
5 years.
5 years?
Yes.
And so you were the key person in getting this whole event planned, is that right?
For this year, yes, and probably the last several.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be a great day. We're really excited about it. Tell me what y'all have going on here today.
Oh my goodness, we have a tremendous amount of things going on. We'll have the rescue horse, large animal rescue here. We will have Richard Sharke, who is a renowned horse trainer, here with us today, and the Griffiths from North Carolina. Of course, we have Horse Tales with us today, and we're excited to have you guys with us.
Thank you. And
just other little small demos throughout the day. The Parade of Breeds, which is fantastic. We have lots of breeds that will be shown today, and vendors, and food, and fun.
So, well, good. So what does it take to get this event off the ground and going?
It takes a lot of people to help you. I just call everyone and say, I need you to do this, I need you to do that, and everybody seems to come together and
they
get
listen.
it done. Well, I'm not sure about that, but they do get it done. But it takes more than one person. It takes a village to get it done, and I'm blessed to have a great crew of people to help me out each year to get this process done.
That's great. And my dad said that you and your husband Cecil were the ones that got him on the Horsemen's Council.
Yes, we kind of twisted his arm a little, so convinced him to come on, and we appreciate everything he's done. He's been a terrific help and a tremendous asset to the board.
Wow, he talks very highly of y'all. And thank you so much for being with us today, and thank you for all the hard work that you've put into this event.
Thank you, and we're looking forward to a wonderful day here in Camden at the South Carolina Horsemen's Expo.
We are too.
Terrific. Thank you.
Joining me now is Terry Bogger from Simpsonsville, South Carolina, the president of the South Carolina Horsemen's Council. Terry, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, as you said, I'm from Simpsonville. I love English riding. We do mostly hunter paces. I ride an off-the-track thoroughbred, which is the best horse in the world.
We've heard that.
I work at 1 Minute News in Greenville, South Carolina, and I just, believe it or not, graduated from college at this old age. So
I just thought you just turned 19.
That's right.
Well, how was your past year as president of the Horsemen's Council?
It was very good. It was quiet, which was really good. We worked a little bit on some legislation to change the equine liability law so that it is more protective of landowners and trail riders, and as opposed to the show venues that were protected before. So.
Well, Terry, I'll tell everybody, I've been on Horsemen's Council for 3 years. Can you believe that?
No.
Kay and Cecil invited me 3 years ago, and it's been great. People I met and what I've learned. I tell a lot of people, it's what the Horsemen's Council prevents for the horse owner, I think. It's kind of what, we do a lot behind the scenes they really don't realize. That's why I encourage everybody to, hey, you really need to join this association, because it's the equine
It's the sort of your eyes on the legislation that goes into effect. A couple of years ago, someone tried to pass a law that changed the law about coggins. Every horse owner has to have a coggins for their horse to transport them to a showgrounds or to another state. Those are done once a year, and they were trying to change that so it'd be once a month, which would have been just a tragedy for horse owners. So we were able to get in and get that stopped. So those are the types of things that your horse council does for you.
Well, I mentioned before that one of my dreams for Horsetail is really to unite equine lovers from all over our state in the Carolinas and the Southeast, because I think in 2004 was our last equine census. And make sure I quote this, it's $3 billion back then.
Yes.
And I really think every time I get a hold of Commissioner Weathers or Yancey McGill, I really tell them, I say, hey, it's been 8, 9 years, it was $4 billion back then. I think they really underestimated the money that us horse lovers put into the economy.
Because lots of horse lovers don't like to tell everybody about how much money they put into the economy, so it's already, you know, that number is reduced greatly.
Well, we're getting ready to let Terry go back to work, folks. She's got a lot to do here today. Terry, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Join me now, Richard Sharke, world-renowned clinician, and I have to say, one of my favorites for your style, which is resistance-free. We'll get to that in a minute. Richard, the weather was a little bit different when you left home. You want to tell us about that?
Oh, David, I tell you, when I got on the airplane, unbelievable. I'm looking out at Mount Bachelor. There's about 4 feet of snow, and it's about 33 at the airport, you know, and then to arrive in this beautiful country, it's just like opening the door and there's heaven. Here I am. Thank you for inviting me. It's just not only a privilege to be here, but to be with this wonderful weather and great horse people. How much better can it be today?
That's what we say, smiling faces, beautiful places, South Carolina. Well, Richard,
I agree.
You have a very unique style, and we would have to cover hours, but you just want to give us an overview of really what's brought you to the level you are now. And I'm not blowing smoke at you when I say one of the best in the world.
Well, thank you so much, David. You know, as a youngster, I grew up, I didn't see really horse training that took the horse into the partnership. It was more of a dominance. In other words, don't let him get away with anything. You've got to dominate him, and to the point on ranch, I grew up on a ranch out there, and the way they dominated horses then was to shackle them and throw them down, and I saw things that weren't very pretty, but I never knew that there was a better way. And I'm about 12 years old, watched a great horseman by the name of Jimmy Williams do incredible things just because the horse liked him and wanted to be with him. And I said, you know, I want to be and learn more about that. And so I kind of spent all my life trying to realize that horses, not realize it, or didn't spend my life learning that, other than when we take our time and let it be a free will movement, they not only train better, they work better, they retain better, and you know, after doing some articles and numerous books, and really absolutely having it time tested to see that when you're kinder, quieter, gentler with animals in general, it could be a dog, they work so much better. And we call it resistance free.
I'm a type A personality type guy, and I've learned that I have learned a lot by folks like you, especially you, that I really have got to get that mindset, because you know, when I get aggressive or uneasy, he feels it. Well, what we're going to be covering today in your clinic?
Exactly that. There's ways that we ride our horses when we communicate through our hands and our legs that say, hey, you know, I want to dance with you. I want to be a part of the movement with you. And then there's ways that are just absolutely wrong. We get in their way. We, like a dance partner, we're stepping on their toes. So one of the lectures today is, when you ride, don't let your riding confuse the horse, interfere with the horse, and cause him stress. Because stress is the thing that causes him to act what we call in a red zone. That means bucking, kicking, taking off, over anxious. Ever have a horse do that? Anticipate? Yeah, get a little out of control. And so we say, just make sure you follow the soft, quiet hands, the legs that support. That's one of the lectures.
Well, I was reading up, doing my homework on you. So how many clinics have you actually done? Do you actually know?
Well, I don't. I don't know if I want to know, you know, but you know, when you have a passion for something, David, wow, you lose. It just becomes a wonderful thing, a comfort zone for me.
Right.
And when you see people just in maybe 10 minutes, when they learn the horse's language or the dog's language, all of a sudden the dog becomes a best friend.
Right.
So the relationship changes.
Right.
And when you see that, like a guy like me, you go, oh, I can't share this with enough people. So you do. You're out and you travel. You put 2 million miles on United Airlines. Here I am.
Well, I'll tell anybody when we talk, you're knowledgeable and you're passionate. That's why you've been successful.
Thank you.
Well, I'm on the Horsemen's Council, so last year when we was talking about getting you over here, which is the second year, correct?
Absolutely. I had to come back and see the sunshine. I knew it was here.
We said, can we get Richard? We said, well, we hope. Come to South Carolina,
yes.
See a good old redneck like
yes.
me and everything. Well, listen, it's been quite a privilege. I hope my audience hadn't kind of noticed I've been a little nervous. This is quite a privilege for this cowboy. David? Richard, also, how can we get in touch with you? Folks at home?
You know, I'm at richardshake.com. It's S as in Sam, H-R-A-K-E, and I'll admit I'm old enough that the email still isn't the best, but I try to answer them. And the best thing, David, is I want to invite you to Oregon because we have the Kiger Mustang 80 miles from our ranch. Which is related to the horses you raise, and I guarantee you, David, you'll look at them and you'll go, they look like my horses, even though they're out west. So what a privilege to show you them as another horseman.
Well, get in touch with Richard. Don't let him fool you. All you got to Google is probably Resistance Free or Richard S, and he at the top of the list. And Richard, like I say, you're at the top of my list. Thank you,
David. Okay, great.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Wilson here at the Main Street Cafe, located at the South Carolina Equine Park. Stay tuned for more horse tales.
What do y'all think about this beautiful saddle I found here at the Expo today? That brings us to our tack tip of the day.
Hi folks, I'm Mark Horseman with your tack tip of the day. We're going to talk about saddles and a few of the things that I like when I design these saddles and have them built. These are built in Paris, Texas by Paul Custom Saddlery. The most important feature of these saddles is that up underneath my legs, the skirt of the saddle is cut up above where it normally is on most saddles. They go straight across. Then there's an additional piece of wet leather called a wear leather that comes all the way across. And then the connector from the back to the front cinch sits on top of all of that, which in essence gives you about the bulk of a 2x4 underneath each of your legs as you're riding your horse. If you get a saddle and you get one made, or you can find one that already has a leg cut out, that gives you a lot closer contact, much better communication, not to mention much more comfort, not only for yourself but for your horse. As you're trying to communicate right through here, you have direct contact with your horse from here all the way down. It's my favorite feature of the saddles we make. Once again, that's Paul Custom Saddlery in Paris, Texas. You can have one just like it. And that is your tack tip of the day.
Folks, join me now is Dr. Rebecca Jimenez, and Dr. G is what I'm going to call you if I address you.
That sounds good to me.
From Macon, Georgia, right?
Yes, sir.
She's a Georgia peach, folks. So you're here at the Expo to do a talk on large animal rescue.
Yes, sir. And we're talking about the kind of rescue that is horses that get stuck in mud, they end up in trailer wrecks, they end up in barn fires, all the awful things that happen to horses. And a lot of it's real simple methods where people in their own facility can try to rescue their horse. And of course, sometimes it goes beyond that where you need to call in the fire department, you need to call law enforcement, especially on the side of the road. But we're going to talk about a lot of those kinds of things with the folks that can show up today.
Right. So, and you've got a very impressive vehicle here behind us.
This is our ambulance. Believe it or not, we've been using this ambulance for, we got it in 1999. We haul all over the country with the demonstration animals. And actually, what's funny is we do so much training these days that we do very few responses anymore. And with the advent of cell phones, we get phone calls from people around the country. I've got a horse in a septic tank, I've got a horse in a hole, and they can send me a picture, and over the phone, I can usually give them, the fire department, some suggestions on how they might be able to do it. That makes it simple. It's not rocket science. It's really pretty simple stuff, but a lot of it has to do with safety around the horses, behavior of the animal, and how they react in a stressful situation.
Because I was reading up on it, because most people who respond to accidents on the highway, whatever, aren't horse people. And they get kind of scared, and that makes the horse even more frustrated. Because I had experience about 4 or 5 years ago, and I've got horses. I had one, a young one, to fall in a ditch. Maybe a 200 or 300 pound young horse. It was more than I could handle personally. Got some folks there, and then thankfully, a couple of my buddies, friends of mine, we had some good straps, and we did the best we could do. So folks, you really need to be paying attention, because you never know. You got one horse or a bunch when you might need.
It can happen to you.
Yeah, some expertise that you're going to share with us today. Well, how about this pretty paint behind us? She's got quite a story, doesn't she?
This is Ariel Painted Pants, and she has been with us since 2003. She was originally a $1 rescue because she had some pretty significant conformation problems and was debilitated and starved.
Oh, really? Wow.
So we got her, and once I took her in the house and laid her down in front of the Christmas tree, we figured we were going to keep her. But you can't really ride her because she's got some severe conformation faults with her legs, but she lays down on command. She has been picked up probably 300 times with a crane. She does it for a treat. She'll do anything for a treat. She'll lay down for a treat. She'll do anything for a treat. And usually what she does is she does a body cavity search on firefighters to get the treats out of their pockets.
So we'll see all that today, right?
You'll see some of that today. If anybody has a treat in their pocket within 50 yards, she'll find it.
Well, you'd be a good horse to have for a neighbor. Well, we're looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for having me.
Hi, I'm Dorothea Darden, representing Covis Darden Farm from Aiken, South Carolina. We breed PRE horses. Stay tuned for more horse tales.
I'm here with Bruce Anderson. And Bruce, you're not from around here, are you?
No.
Where
I'm from
are
a
you
little island called Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean.
Okay. Now here you have a horse tale for me.
Just a little one. When I was about 9 or 10 years old, my dad, every afternoon when he would come back from working the estate, we had no roads, only trails. Up on the hillside, he would have one little bay mare that he would ride to check the work. And the estate house was where the horses were kept, were down on the bottom, and we lived up on the top of the mountain. So he would ride from there to the house through the estate. Then after school, I would ride the horse back to the barn for dinner. Well, unfortunately, or fortunately, I got in trouble at school, and I got home a little late. And it's amazing how horses know time. So I was just a little late, and she wanted to get home for dinner, and I had to ride her home. And I was a little not sure about that because she was a little up, and we were going down the hill back to the stables, and I was holding on really tight, and she really wanted to go. We got to this ditch, and I had to let her go to cross over the ditch. Well, as soon as I did that, she was off. And we went down this little hillside through the orange field, and there was this little split in the trail. You can either go left or right home. Well, I thought she was going to go left, and the rest of the story was I ended up in the orange tree.
Oh no.
And she took off home, left me there, and I came crying with my little whip in my hand, and my neighbor picked me up and drove me home. My dad looked at me, he shook his head, and I remember having a really favorite shirt on. Didn't waste any time taking that off with a pair of scissors, so much for my favorite shirt. In the car, back down to the stables, and proceeded to put me right back on the horse and made me ride. Back then, it wasn't very pleasant, but now in looking back, you know, that was a great learning experience, because to me that's what I've learned. Horses teach us and allow us to experience life. When you fall down, get back up. It's just an opportunity.
That's right.
Not a mistake. So
that's right.
That's my story.
Well,
and her name was Kim.
Kim?
Yes.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank
that was
you
very
very much.
meaningful.
Folks, we've had a great time here for the South Carolina Horsemen's Council Expo at a beautiful South Carolina Equine Park.
We've had a blast. I want to thank Richard Sharke, who came all the way from Oregon to show us his horsemanship and show us how it's done. We just had a great time. We also spoke with the president of the Horsemen's Council and also the chairman of the Expo, and she shared with us how much work it really takes to put this Expo on.
We've had a wonderful time visiting with all the vendors, and everybody around here is so friendly and helpful and stuff. Horse people, Blair, are some of the greatest people in the world.
They sure are, and we want to hear from you. So please go on to our website, Horse Tales TV, and sign our guest book and tell us what you think about the show. Also visit us on Facebook and on Twitter.
And a very special thank you to Doug's Harley-Davidson and South Carolina Horsemen's Council, some of our great sponsors. Until next week, keep your reins low and your hands quiet.
And we've had so much fun here today that we have more action from the Expo next week.